You're a little crooked. Make it straight. Two minutes. It's not good. All right. Morning. Which field? I don't think I saw it. Sorry. All right, are we good? We're ready to go? So, right before I got the shir, I got this text. It's incredible, this thing, to me. Hi Rebelli, from Eitan Ogarik here. Like I told you last week, I've been writing you an email ever since the beginning of Bracha, still haven't finished it. Well, I'm in New York. My mom was nifter on Friday. His mother's nifter on Friday, and he's writing me a text. That's how attached he is. He's the guy that I said I have to give him a big hug, because I never really said hello to him through the first few months of this year, and then I saw him on Zoom, and like every time after shir, he would run away. So we got our hug in, the only guy I ever hugged since the beginning of Corona. So I'll be missing some days, which will be very hard. Once I landed here, my mind right away was looking at the clock and saying, when is the daf? Psh. And I also thought of complaining to United because their Wi-Fi, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I guess I'll be missing a few days, but can't wait to get back to the daf. I was excited to see that the 6:30 minyan was reinstated, as I guess that will be my minyan. Please learn Lili Nishmas, Miriam Bas Shmuel Shmelka. The neshama should have an aliyah. Today's shir is being sponsored in honor of our wedding anniversary. Listen to this, it's beautiful what he writes here. And in honor of Eli Stefansky and his wonderful and amazing team who are creating such a Torah storm across the Jewish globe, seeing so many thousands of Yidden of all types and stripes from all four corners of the world. He couldn't have said it any better. There's so many different types of people, it's unbelievable. Uniting together daily, either joining by Zoom or YouTube or All Daf or Torah Anytime or our website or our app, learning the full daf or the 8-minute daf is just incredible. I added those four things. It's just incredible. Or in person, a true Kiddush Hashem. It's an honor and privilege to have a small chelik in this amazing achievement. A huge yeshar to you. Keep up this amazing undertaking. Shlomi Sofer, you know Shlomi from Yad Tomech, an amazing organization here in Bet Shemesh. All right, and Rabbi Isai, there's another one. Leilu Nishma, Shmuel Aaron ben Nasan Nota HaKoyen. Shmuel Erez. Again, so Leilu Nishma, Shmuel Aaron ben Nasan Nota HaKoyen, Olav Shalom. Okay, fine. Perfect. Rabbi Isai, one more incredible email. I know we're running short on time. We started a couple minutes late, but I got to get this one in. I can't hold myself back. This is from a 19-year-old from Manchester. Hi, Eli Stefansky. I am a working 19-year-old in Manchester who works in a bakery. I've been at a yeshiva for 3 years, as learning all day is not for me. I went to the Siyam Shas and got inspiration. My boss, Velvel, told me about your daf, that it's geschmack and that it's fun. So I gave it a try. And since then, I've almost never missed a day. My days feel different when learning the daf with you. I really enjoy it. This has made me learn every day. Sometimes in the bakery, I watch you while I'm working with my boss as a preview. And when I go home, I watch it again with the Gemara. So this is a kid that says learning's not for him all day, but he learns it once in the morning, once in the evening. Bekitzer, before you know it, this guy is going to be learning 12 hours a day. I can't believe I still do the daf every day. I can't wait to finish Shas, all the way from Manchester, Benny Gidelson. Wow, beautiful email. Shkoyach Benny. The idea is, I guess, a lot of people say learning's not for them, not for them. And you learn a daf and it goes well, and then the idea is to add a little bit, maybe 10 minutes. Don't push it. 10 minutes here. You see, he's learning so many months like this. A little bit more, you push it. All right, fine. I guess I myself, into my 40s, I also thought I couldn't learn that many hours. It's not so push it. It's not as easy as you think it is, or as hard as you think it is. We're holding Daf Kuf. You hear that? Daf Kuf. 100. We're 99 daf into Masechtas Shabbos. Incredible, mamish incredible. Where did all that time go? We're having so much fun. Omar Abaya, we're holding 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 lines down. Or 8 lines down. Omar Abaya. Nu sugya. Bar b'shus harabbim amuka asara uruchava shmoina. If you have a pit that's 10 tfachim deep. And it's 8 tfachim wide, and he threw into it a reed mat, chayev. Says Rashi, no chiddush at all, although you might want to argue that there is some sort of chiddush. So Rashi is probably saying that this pit is not exactly 10 tfachim, it's maybe 10 and a half tfachim. You threw in a thin reed in there, nothing happened to the pit. So obviously if you're going to take something from Rishus HaRabim and put it into Rishus HaYachid, you're chayev. Here comes the big chiddush. Chilko b'machatzeles potter. Rabbi say, I had 0 charts last night. Poor guys up there. I have at least 8, maybe 1 original, which is this, but the rest are all from last night, from 11 o'clock on. So here's your pit. You threw in a reed. Miraculously, it stood up on its end, and now it took away from the 2 pits. Instead of having 8 tfachim, now you have less than 2 pits that are 4 tfachim. Each pit is 399 because the reed divides it. So a pit that's 399 is not 4 tfachim wide. It's not a pit. Potter. So if I throw something into either one of these pits, you're potter because this reed stands there as a mechitza and it takes away from the total area of the bar. Says the Gemara, according to Abaye, that was so pashut that by throwing a reed mat, it becomes part of the bar to be there for a while, and Memela takes away from the size of the bar. Kolchkin Chulia. So certainly last night that we discussed the bar, that I throw in a bunch of dirt to the bottom. Question: does it become bottled to the bottom of the pit or not? But dirt is something that is there to stay forever. So if a mat, which I could use on my sukkah, is considered part of the pit, so certainly a bunch of dirt. And last night Rabbi Yochanan had a question, whether or not dirt becomes part of the pit. So therefore, Rabbi Yochanan is going to hold that it's not true what Abaye said, that if I throw a reed mat into the pit, it doesn't become batal because he wasn't even sure if dirt becomes batal. So certainly he knows for a fact that something that has more value than dirt is not going to become batal. You have a pit full of water, and you threw something that's going to sink to the bottom, like a stone, says Rashi, or even better yet, a bigger chiddush. You throw into it water. And water, we said, is zuyan chasan. Water, even though it moves and it floats, but that's where it is. That's the hanacha for water, right on top of water, unlike other objects. Chayev. Milea peiros. If you fill up a pit full of fruit, now the fruit are like dirt. If I fill up a pit full of dirt and I try to throw something on top of a filled bar, nothing happened. It's full of dirt. So what's the difference if I fill it up with dirt or fill it up with peiros? Now, Tosfos immediately jumps in here and says, wait a minute. Last night we discussed dveilo shmeina, a fat fig. We said is not bottled to the wall. Why? Because you're going to go ahead and eat it. All of a sudden now these peiros, says Tosfos, yes, we're talking about like wheat. You want to store it for a lengthy time, for a nice amount of time, so you're going to be mevatel to the bar. Over there, the dveilo shmeina, you're just playing a game, threw it on the wall, 5 minutes later, you're going to take it off the wall and eat it. So therefore, melea peiros, if it's full of fruit, v'zarg l'toicha potter. It's as if you just threw something on top of a filled bar. My taima, mayim lo mevatel mechitzta. Water does not create a bittul to the bar itself. Peiros mevatel mechitzta. Why? Because, yes, if you're going to throw something that's going to float on top of the bar, that's not a good idea. That's not going to work. But since you're throwing a stone and it's going to sink to the bottom, so the mayim didn't do anything. The water didn't accomplish anything. It didn't stop what you were doing. And therefore, so, where was I? So, peiros, it's as if it's full water, since it'll sink to the bottom, you are over. Tanya mehachi. Hazorik min hayam lis ratyo. What's an ocean? As we're going to see later, we know an ocean has a halacha of a karmelis. It's not a rishus hayachid, it's not a rishus harabim, it's a rishus midrabanan called a karmelis. So if I remove something, I take something, I throw from, I'm in the ocean. I throw it, l'isratya. Isratya is Rishus Harabim. It's a highway. We had these words actually in the beginning of the Masechta, both Isratya and Yam. Umina Isratya liyam pater. So since I'm going from Rishus Harabim, now I see the guys on Zoom. You see? So even though my computer's not open in front of me, I see them nice and clear. I see Shlomi Klein. Yishkoyach Shlomi Klein for the sponsorship. I spoke about you. I don't know if you heard, didn't hear. Now I finally see you, so I'll say Yishkoyach to you in person. So that's his day, Sunday. You see Shlomi Klein in the corner, the guy in the bottom right corner with the beard, because he's from Crown Heights. Not that everybody that's not in Crown Heights doesn't have a beard, but in Crown Heights specifically they have beards. Why? Because I'm going from a Rishus D'Rabbanan to a Rishus D'Oraisa. You're not chayiv. It's a D'Rabbanan Rishus. Reb Shimon Omer. So we're bringing it right to what we just said. So listen to this. Here's a very interesting case. It's surprising, but this is what Reb Shimon holds. Says Reb Shimon, you're in the middle of the ocean. Here's the ocean. In the middle of the ocean, you have a cutout that's 10 tefachim deep, 4 tefachim wide. All of a sudden, you have a Rishus HaYachid smack in the middle of Rishus HaRabim. It's full of water. It's in the bottom of the ocean bed. It's full of water. So what do you see from here? Water is not mevatel your bar. You have a bar in the middle of Rishus. How that works, go figure it out. He says, in the middle of the ocean, you can have Rishus HaYachid. Isn't the whole ocean some depth and a hole? No. A hole within the ocean is considered a Rishus HaYachid. It's up there in case you want to. And in case you want to admire my art, the blue, the red, all at the different hours of the morning. Shkoyach. Says the Mishnah, Hazoreg Arba Amois Bakoisel. So since we already had the sugya 2 or 3 times, here's the original. Hazoreg Arba Amois Bakoisel. Here's the picture, in case you forgot what the sugya was, and we had it yesterday twice, and we had it before that another time. So this is the 4th time that we're having the sugya. Did we have it yesterday twice? No, we had it once, and I mentioned that it's going to be in our Mishnah. If somebody's standing and throwing something at a wall, if he's above 10 tefachim, nothing happened. Why? Because what's the wall above 10 tefachim? It's not a Rishus HaRabim. Why? Because Rishus HaRabim goes up until 10 tefachim. So above 10 tefachim is not Rishus HaRabim. So what could it possibly be? Perhaps this area right over here is it's a Makam P'tur if it's in the Rishus HaRabim, but maybe it's a part of the Rishus HaYachid, I'll say. Part of Rishus HaYachid, no, it can't be part of Rishus HaYachid because it doesn't extend outwards. It's a vertical surface, so it's not Rishus HaYachid. So therefore, Kizarik Ba'aver, it's as if it's suspended in the air, nothing happened. It's in Makam P'tur. L'matam Asar Tfachim, however, if it's below 10 Tfachim, Kizarik Ba'aretz, it's as if you threw it on the ground. Hazarik Baretz, and I pointed out yesterday that when the Gemara says this, the Gemara says Vehazarik Baretz, it's a continuation. There's no comma over there. It's not a comma, a pause, a comma. Yeah, it is a comma. Hazarik Baretz Arba Amos Chayav, not a period, a comma. Hazarik Baretz Arba Amos Chayav. So it's as if you threw it on the ground, and if you threw it on the ground 4 Amos, you're Chayav. It never rested. You threw a ball at the wall, it bounced right back at you, so never rested at the 4 Amma point. We're discussing a juicy fig or a bunch of wet toilet paper. Same thing. New concepts. Every day, new concepts in halacha, new ideas. Today we're going to be learning a bunch of them, and one of them is chaykikim. So what happened? Here, just split it up a little bit. And Rashi brings this case, and the Archways brings this picture, and I added the blue and red, of course. If a guy has a doorway, the doorway has to be 10 tefachim by 4 tefachim wide. But what happens is that the doorway is arched. Thank you. So what do we do? According to Wamanda Omar Chaykikim, I do red. I pretend it's red. I pretend as if, since I have the area, I have the ability, I could take a chisel and chisel this out. So I view it halachically as if it's chiseled out, and the doorway is in fact 10 by 4 square without the arch. So what does that have to do with us? So in our case, very similar. A guy threw something into a very small hole in the wall. In blue, forget the red. But the small hole in the wall doesn't have 4 tfachim. And in order for it to be Rosh Hashanah, it has to be 4 tfachim wide. Chaykikim, says Rameir. I cut out whatever the red is on the left side of that picture right there. Oh, very nice, Mordechai. Look at that. Look what he's doing. He's showing you with the mouse. Do it again so Gary could see. Okay, you get a raise. He's getting a raise today. What device do you want today? A new computer he wants. Okay. Maybe Hashem. What? Yeah, exactly. Where do you think you got it from?
Why don't we say the same thing with the boards of the Mishnah, that when they were tapered up to the top, we don't look at it also as a box?
What difference would it make halachically if it's a box or not?
Because then we said that doesn't meet the criteria for Rosh Hashanah if it was tapered at the top. Now if we look at it as a
No.
by an amma.
The only difference we had over there is how did the ureas fit on it? How did it fit?
Well, we based our Rosh Hashanah.
We said that if it was tapered, he's asking about the crushim in the Mishkan. How come we don't say chaykikim? You're talking about there's two manorah. One manorah says it was a rectangle, one manorah says it went on an angle. The only difference we had was that if it's on an angle and you lay them down nicely on a wagon, then you have tremendous gaps between board and board where it's on an angle because it's very narrow over here. So that would be an open Rosh Hashanah, no rooftop. That fits very well into the Gemara. The other Mandamar had a little problem, so we had to say they made stacks. But I don't see that it would make a big nafkamina in crushim. What else do we have there? We had also, he wants to cut out the crushim and make it on an angle. I don't know why. How would it help us halachically?
Why are we pretending a mitzvah to make somebody fight?
So it's a new concept. It's a concept of chaykikim. Why? I don't know. That's what Rameir holds. Chaykikim. Zorak. Well, we say this mitzias. We say it to make a mezuzah. Mezuzah, you understand it works. Well, you have a question on a mezuzah also. What? The arch.
How mezuzah works with an arch? You're saying?
Yeah, it works for an arch. I need a 10 tfachim by 4 tfachim opening. I don't have because there's an archway. I pretend that I have it like the red outline. The red doesn't exist. It's the blue that exists. So my some chayv mezuzah. For mezuzah works, so it should work over here also. It fell into a hole. You carve it out to fill in the gap. What's the matter? I know wants to say something. Okay.
You hear me?
Now I hear you. What's going on? Noam's on Zoom, if anybody's wondering. Yeah? You guys should turn around and watch him ask the question. Yeah?
When you say the parameters of chokekim and when you don't, if you throw something into a board that's gimel tvachim, would Rameir say then you're chokek another tefach, make it dalet?
No way.
Chokekim?
No way.
Right. So exactly. So what are the parameters of chokekim?
I hear. I don't know. It's a good shiloh. When do you say it? When don't you say it? Maybe that's what Lauren was asking as well. You have already a hole. Over there it's different. You have the hole. You're expanding the hole. You're not going deeper. You're not taking the object deeper. What you're saying is you should take the object deeper to a different place. That you don't do. You're just pretending that it's wider. You're pretending the doorway is wide. You're not moving the mezuzah anywhere. You're keeping the mezuzah where it is. You're just saying that opening has the ability. So you're asking that in a bar that's not 10 tefachim, you should pretend that it's 10, but that would take the object downwards. I don't know. Good child. Hold on. Menachem has some sort of answer.
It's not dalet wide.
What? What are you saying?
Or if you have one that's 10 tefachim deep but not dalet wide.
Say chaykim. I hear. Obviously, it doesn't work there. The question is why. Yeah. What are you saying?
We're talking about a wall. We're not talking about the ground. We're talking about a wall. Both cases we're talking about a wall. Also by the mezuzah.
So why? Why a wall?
Here we have to say that we're talking about a wall that's already 4 tefachim wide.
It has to have 4 tefachim within it. The hole doesn't have 4 tefachim.
That's right. So we're saying that this hole is part of
So, okay, but he's asking, what's the difference between a wall and a bar? A bar also has dirt on it, and you can remove the dirt.
No, bar is in the ground.
Yeah, so.
Chaykikim that he's talking about doing a bar is into the ground. You're not doing it into the ground. Doing it in this physical object that's called a wall. That's something separate on its own.
Okay. You have to understand this. I don't understand exactly what you're saying, but he wants to be mechalik between a bar and a wall. A wall is man-made, so the guy forgot, he made an arch, he forgot to take out some stones. But a bar is part of the ground. That's what he's saying. Tanya, Nami Ochi, Zorg Lam Alam Asor V'Och V'Nocha B'Chor Koshu, and we learned the same exact thing. Remeir, Mechayev, V'Chachamim, Paitrim. Great. Ori Yudom Rav, Tail, Hamislakid, Asoro, Mitoich Arba. So, I had a property in Indianapolis, which I sold already, Baruch Hashem. And I used to go there all the time. Every week I would go there sometime in the beginning for a few days. I would sleep there. It was part of my large property I once spoke about. But it was a couple hundred units. And I walk into this property one day, and there's schwarz in the Augen, they say. Black in my eyes. What happened? I show up there. They built, without asking me, a ramp. Because the guy comes out. He says, the ADA says you need a 12-inch rise for every inch. For every inch rise, you need a 12-inch ramp. So kids are, the staircase, let's say, 6 feet up. So 6 times 12 times 12. The kids are a ramp that was like 100 feet long. They built a ramp. It cost thousands and thousands of dollars, and it made the whole property ugly because it snaked around and around until the wheelchair, because the guy wanted to rent, and the ADA says you need to have a ramp. So the kids are, there's a musig of having the proper angle for the rise. I think the ADA says it has to be, for every inch that you go off the ground, your ramp has to be a foot. You can't just go like this. You go here to Revivim, you'll see some buildings, they built something for the stroller, it's like this. You go down, you have to run down and make sure your baby, there has to be a proper thing. Says the Gemara on the reverse. If it's so steep that it goes up 10 tfachim, here, where's a good picture? I should have a picture here. Maybe, oh yeah, here, in the beginning. So, Mordechai, it's all the way in the beginning, I doubled up. I was being cheap on the paper. Here, tell him, it goes upwards 4 amas, 10 tfachim. So this is steep. So we're going to consider that steepness a wall, a vertical wall. If let's say it took, Rashi says, let's say it took 5 amas to get to 10 tfachim, it wouldn't work. This halacha wouldn't work. The reason why I'm saying that this is considered a wall for Rosh Hashanah is because it went up so quickly. 4 amas, 3 amas, 2 amas, 1. If it's a really steep incline like this, 4 amas to 10 tfachim, that's considered a vertical wall. It would be 5 amas, it will be less steep than that's a normal pitch on a street or whatever. That doesn't create a wall. If you're walking up a mountain, you're walking up Ayalon, you're not walking up a wall, you're walking up a nice incline. This is a very steep incline. So because it's a steep incline, we consider it halachically a wall.
It's not 4x4 on top of your picture.
It doesn't have to be 4. That's exactly the idea. It doesn't have to be 4x4. Since I have 4 amas over here, and it's 10, it's as if I have a wall, it's as if I have a 10 tfachim by 4x4.
Does that work for a sukkah?
What?
Does that work for a sukkah?
What do you mean?
I'm saying it's halachically a wall.
Where? Oh, a sukkah wall. Maybe, yeah. 10 tfachim wall by 4. Why not? And your sukkah's in here? Your sukkah's on this side, right over here, from here on? Why not? Then it's cut. It's a wall. Oh, this side. So then you have a wall over here. You mean you have a nice mountain on the outside? I don't know. Okay. Trust me, we have enough to figure out over here before we jump into Krushim and Sukkahs. Everybody, this side of the room is busy with wood and Sukkahs. Fine. Yeah, okay. Now you have Rishus HaYachid because you have a proper wall. Same halacha would be with a mavui. So it could be 2 ways. Your mavui, your alleyway between the houses that goes right into Rosh Hashanah, his Rosh Hashanah. So typically we say that a mavui requires a lechi or a kaira. You have to make a distinction so people don't walk out of the mavui straight into Rosh Hashanah. So that they can carry the mavui, you put up a pole, a lechi, that's tefach, or a kaira, a beam going horizontally. A vertical or horizontal beam. But now you don't need it. Why? Because now you have a wall. It's as if you have a wall separating between Rosh Hashanah and Rosh Hashanah. The Gemara just says it doesn't matter what way, whether this incline goes from the mavui into Rosh Hashanah or from the Rosh Hashanah into the mavui downwards into the mavui. The only difference is that in this case, Rashi points out that there's like a little step, there's like a half a amma before it starts going downwards. Why he says is not 100% clear. Maybe that was the derech. You don't want to, like, in Rosh Hashanah, all of a sudden have a steep ramp, because this is a very steep ramp. So people will be walking in, and all of a sudden they disappear into the maveh. They roll down, Where's my kid? Well, down there. So they have a little bit of a half amma ledge.
It's like a swimming pool. It's like the deep end.
Yeah, like a swimming pool, just only adjacent to the Rosh Hashanah. Maveh sheshavah teichai. Vinasa, in other words, it's right there equal to the Rosh Hashanah. Vinasa modron Rosh Hashanah, it's higher than the Rosh Hashanah. So there's a steep. You want to go into the mavim from the Rosh Hashanah, you have to go upwards. Vinasa modron Rosh Hashanah. Oy shavel Rosh Hashanah. Vinasa modron l'toicha. So on this word shavel Rosh Hashanah, Rashi says the pshat is probably that there was a little bit of a lip there. There's a little bit of a ledge. Vinasa midra in l'toicha. It's lower than the Rosh Hashanah, so you have to go downwards. And Reb Chanina ben Gamliel explains, Reb Chanina ben Gamliel oimer, tel ha-mislaket asora b'toich arba, v'zorak v'noch agabav chayav. So we're talking about this midroin has this type of rise to whatever it's called. I forgot the words already. The rise over the run. Thank you. Beautiful. The rise over the run. You hear? Now it makes a lot of sense. The rise over the run has to be 4 amas and 10 tfachim, to 10 tfachim high. Says the Mishnah, Zorak l'toich daled amois, v'nizgalgil chutz l'daled amois potter. You throw an object. You throw, let's say, a frisbee. You throw it 2 amas. You had no intent to throw it 4 amas. You threw it 2 amas. Comes the wind and picks it up and gives it more distance. And it happened to travel 4 amas, potter. See, I know your name is not Leslie, so I'm not going to call you Leslie. Unoch, Avi Rosen, Dr. Shamroth. Dr. Shamroth, he sends regards to Menachem, and Menachem's son is here, your anicle is here. Nachas. Who? Robert Liebman from Toronto. I don't see him, but Shalom Aleichem wherever you are. So he threw a frisbee 4 amas. He should be over. What happens is the wind comes and takes the frisbee and brings it back towards him. What should be the major question on this line? You hear the case? I take a frisbee, I threw it 10 amas. Chayav. Why? Even though the wind came and blew it right back at me. Chayav. Why chayiv? Okay, but what happened more than that? What happened to hanacha? What? But it never landed. It's in midair. It never landed. Ask the Gemara, v'loinach. How can it be chayiv without landing? Omar Rabbi Yochanan, I'm telling you, these sugis are full. Every line has something gishmak to it. V'hu shenoch agabi mashu, 100 daf. We should have made a big dance in a simcha. And tomorrow, even though it's 100, but it's the daf is kufalef, so lose a little bit of the thing. It says Rabbi Yochanan like this: V'hu shenoch agabi mashu. We're talking about within 3 tfachim, as the Pirush Chai illustrates so beautifully. And if you look over here, you see the blue is the way it traveled. The red, all of a sudden, there's a swirl of wind, and caught it in midair. And it stopped short in midair. So it makes a U-turn. At that point of the U-turn, it didn't just go in a nice 180. It stopped short, it hesitated, and then went right back. That hesitation in midair, within 3 tfachim of the ground, is considered ha'anacha. What? Yeah. No, I just did the colors. The Pirush Chai did everything in black. So I wanted to emphasize the red swirl. That's all we do, my friend. In this kind of sugi, you want me to start talking about other stuff. Says the Gemara, Tani Nami Zorak chutz l'daled amois udchafatu ruach. He threw it more than 4 amois, and the wind came and pushed it right back at him, and pushed it back into the 4 amois. Potter. He's potter. Even though when afterwards it came back, the wind played games with it. It went out of 4 amas, came back in, went back out, potter. But if the wind grabbed it for a split second, it was in midair. We're probably not talking about a baseball and a football. Something lighter, like a frisbee is a good idea. Okay, fine, a frisbee. Boom, a boomerang is different because over there it's different intent also. That's why I didn't want to say boomerang. Even though it came all the way back to him, chayav. Amarava toich shloisha l'rabbanon tzorech hanocha al gabi mashu. Says Rava. Rashi says he's coming to say two things. Number one, we don't say the concept of kluta k'mishun chodamya, even though it's within 3 tfachim. It's not kluta. Second of all, says Rashi, an amazing chiddush that we're going to learn later on. I think it's tomorrow. I think it was tomorrow. No, I think it's tomorrow. But anyway, this idea that if you throw a ball, you had no idea that it's Shabbos, and then you realized in mid-flight that it's Shabbos, you become amazed, even though you didn't throw it now, you threw it before when you didn't know, you become amazed to the point that you cannot bring a carbon. Says Rava, you do bring a carbon. Even if it's within 3 tfachim of the ground, Rava says, you bring one. Why? Sorry. You don't bring one according to Rava because you realize before it rested. And according to Rabbanon, you're chayev. Why? Because it rested before it landed, in other words, by 3 tfachim. Fine, another halacha. We'll get to there tomorrow, hopefully. In 2 days, he says. Okay, 2 days. Omar Rava, toich shleish l'rabbanon tzorech hanocha gabi mashu. Yas merema v'kama lo shmaita. Omar l'ravinu l'meremar. Turn the amod. Lav haynu mas nisin. Isn't that our Mishnah? V'omar Rabbi Yochanan v'hu shenach hagabi mashu. Rabbi Yochanan says that it has to rest on something. It's not enough that it should be within 3 tfachim. If Rabbi Yochanan held, when they asked him a question, v'loy nach, right? I asked you the question. How's he chayav? This frisbee left but never landed anywhere, came right back to you. So he says the pshat. Oh, the wind held it up in midair. Just say it did rest. You know how? It went really close to the ground within 3 tfachim. That's considered resting, and then it came back. But he doesn't say that because he doesn't hold that within 3 tfachim. He holds like Rava, that even though it's within 3 tfachim, it's nothing. Amarlei, you can't prove anything from Rabbi Yochanan's case. Mizgalgal Karmas. You're talking about a very windy day, and the wind is playing games with the frisbee, so that's a whole different story. Mizgalgal in Sovel Noach. You don't know where it's going to rest. It doesn't have a trajectory. It's not going over here and it's going to land over here. It's going over here, all of a sudden comes back. Aval hai, even the Sovel Noach, since it's going in a specific place, and we know where it's going to land, I would say that in that case, Rabbi Yochanan holds that since it's within 3 tfachim, and we know every single time you throw a baseball at this velocity, it's going to land right over here. So a couple feet beforehand, it's within 3 tfachim of the ground. Rabbi Yochanan should admit that that's considered on the ground already. Nafkamina, like Rashi said, if he realized before it landed that he's amazed, that it's Shabbos, and turns into amazed, it doesn't turn into amazed. No, Kamash Malon, no matter what, Rabbi Yochanan, Rava, they hold that within 3 tfachim of the ground doesn't mean anything. It has to literally land, or like Rabbi Yochanan says, hold up in the air, hover in the air in one spot like a helicopter, like a drone, and then you're chayiv. Says the Mishnah, Hazorik bayam arba amos potur, if you throw an object into the ocean. 4 amos, you're potur. Why? Ocean is a carmelis. So you potur. Potur avalasar, midrabanan. If there was a giant puddle in the middle of the Rosh Hashanah, but everybody walks through it, it's considered a part of the Rosh Hashanah. So there's a puddle in Rosh Hashanah, but it's a puddle. It's a Rosh Hashanah. How deep is this puddle? It has to be less than 10 tfachim. Like we had that picture in the middle of the ocean. Reb Shimon says that 10 tfachim is considered Rosh Hashanah. Certainly over here in Rosh Hashanah it would be considered. Well, Rashi doesn't say Rosh Hashanah. Rashi says Carmelis. Other Rishonim say it's Rosh Hashanah. Shaila, why Rashi calls it a Carmelis. Rekak Mayim Rosh Hashanah Mahaleches Boy. Word for word, almost. Hazorik bitoichai. There's a base here instead of litoichai. Dalaram is chayiv. Literally, the Mishnah just repeats itself. It's almost like a theme in this daf. Everything is repeated from different sugis that we had before. The Gemara is going to explain why. The reason why it says the word hiluch twice. Remember, we had the sugya also in the beginning of Shabbos, literally also word for word. If people, it's inconvenient for them to walk, you'll remember this sugya when we get a few more lines. If it's inconvenient for them to walk, it's still considered Rosh Hashanah. If people use this inconveniently, there's a pit that's 9 tefachim deep, and a guy uses it. Avi, I don't see anything here from you, but okay, fine. Nothing. Ella Rikaki, sitting right next to me. I still don't get anything. Just pick up your thing or something. Come on. My Zoom friends are falling asleep. Besides Devir Nedwin, he's very into it. All right. So if I use this pit that's only 9 tefachim deep and I force myself to use it, it's not, what? It's not considered Rosh Hashanah. Ella rekak trei zimnei lamali. Why does the Mishnah say the same exact thing, rekak, twice? What's the chiddush? Says the Gemara 3 Tirutzim. Chad b'moisach chama v'chad b'moisach shamim. One is talking about in the summer, one is talking about in the winter. Utzrichi. The Torah chad havamino. We had this Gemara mamish word for word havamino b'moisach chama. Davidish the mazgila kurin of shayu. People in the summer, they'll walk through a nice giant puddle. Why? You see this in New York. In the rest of the world, probably not. But they open up the fire hydrants in the Rosh Hashanah, and all these kids, not all, but a lot of these kids, they go and they jump in middle of Rosh Hashanah because they have to cool themselves down. But who's going to go into a nice puddle in the middle of the winter when it's snowing? Their boots are so muddy, what do they care to walk into the puddle? And then I said the story about Reb Chanan Wasserman, that he knocked on the guy's side door, and the guy started yelling at him, what are you knocking on my side door? He said, because I have my muddy boots. He says, you come with me right now to the front door. And he took him through his whole house and schlepped him through the carpet. He said, my whole life I taught my kids that the milcham come, you mechabed them, we don't care about mud. And then at the end of the story, it says that all his kids became Talmid Chacham, this guy. Anyway, Abaye Omar, remember? You don't remember this? Abaye Omar, Itzrich. Another pshat, pshat number 2. Maybe if the puddle is so large, it's 4 amas wide, people will go around it, and therefore it's not part of the Rosh Hashanah. No matter how wide it is, people go through it as Rosh Hashanah. Third pshat. Now it's very interesting. What do you goyers here? Dalid, Arba, or Arba? Huge nafkemina. So you say Arba, 4 tefachim. It almost makes sense because if it's 4 tefachim, the Gemara says have Arba, mifsi pasile. A person could jump over a 4 tefachim puddle. Now if you goyers Arba, like in Amos, unless you're in the NBA, how do you jump over an 8-foot puddle? It's very difficult to jump over. You're going to land in the puddle usually. You think you could jump over it, but you're going to land in it, and then it's part of the Rosh Hashanah. That's why they don't want to be goyres here, Arba, like we said a second ago. By me, my Gemara says a Dalid. So you figure it out. It could be Arba or Abba, but on the side he says the Rashash and the whole thing. Fine. Oh, it says by me Arba here. Mifsi pasile. Hi man, this is the Gamlo. So I was with my family in France, and our good friend, who was with us? The Golds, not you, not Noam. So Ehrenfeld took us to France and Italy. You have to go over the border into Italy, and over there, a genius guy invented something, massive mountains, and he took cables from mountain to mountain, 4 cables, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. You hold on to the top cables, and there's like little steps made out of cable, and you walk through, but you have a harness. So you're mamish safe. And then all of a sudden a wind comes and you go like this. You're hundreds and hundreds of feet above there. Everybody's crying. Okay, fine. Almost everybody. I am a pilot. I jumped out of planes and I was scared. I was actually scared. I'm depending on this guy's little cable. See, at least the parachute I know works, but this guy's cable, and it's like, and my wife wasn't having a good day there. My 5-year-old that I decided to bring along with us. Not a great idea. Anyways, if you go there, it's geschmack, but don't bring your wife and kids. Do it yourself. Says the Gemara, so this is what happened here. A guy built a bridge. Here's the bridge, not hundreds of feet above the these Alps, we're talking about in the Alps, from side to side in the Alps, 2 Alps. The guy took 2 Alps. It takes 45 minutes to cross this thing. That's how long it is. Anyway, so on the bridge, there's a step in the bridge. You could see in red, it doesn't belong with the other steps. It's either loose or there's a gap there. It's not part of it. So what happens is people don't like stepping on it because if they step on it, they feel they're going to fall into the water. Not a good idea. They don't want to fall into the water. So they usually step around it and over it. And therefore, he says, Mechayev, Sharei Rabin Boikin Boy. At the end of the day, if you throw something on it, you are Chayev. So, yeah, people step over it, like this Puddles. People jump over it, but you're still Chayev. It's still part of it. Still part of the bridge, the Puddle is still part of Rosh Hashanah. What are you smiling? What happened? You were there, you got what I'm talking about? I'll show you pictures, you'll see videos. People were saying Kriya Shema, Vidui, the whole thing. Hazorik min hayam leyabasha. If you throw something from the sea, which is what? No. We're going to go on a fun trip. Hazorik min hayam. You mean when the cruise stops? By the safari, we should make it like a stop in Italy. I hear. Hazorik min hayam leyabasha. When, if you throw something from the ocean, which is what? A carmelis. Leyabasha, which is what? Not a carmelis. Okay, so you're going from a derabbanan to the deraisa, or minayam lasvino. A svino is a Rosh Hashanah, so you're going from the carmelis to Rosh Hashanah. Uminasvino liyamim, from a boat, a ship, to the ocean, from the Rosh Hashanah to a carmelis. Uminasvino lechaverta, and from one ship to the other, which is a Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. So if you own both of them, givaldik. If you don't own both of them, so you need an erev chatzeros, potter. You're not chayiv. Now, svinas kshur zulazu, if they're literally, so what does potter mean? Potter aval aser. But if you want to transfer things from one ship to the other, svinas kshur zulazu, metadim zulazu. You could carry from one to the other if they are tied. In meaning kshurois, ava bishmukafis, even though they're very close, metadim zulazu. You don't carry from one to the other. Itmar, svino, ravuna omar, moitzim memeno ziz, kolshu umemale. So here's a beautiful machlokes. A guy needs to drink water. Not such a great idea in the ocean, but maybe he wants to use it to wash dishes. Maybe he's not on the ocean, maybe he's on a lake. So what does he do? It's Shabbos. So he takes out, he pushes out, he has a rod. And this is his water area. So every time he wants to draw water from the ocean, from the river, from the lake, he goes to that rod. It's a heker ba'alma. They say no. It's not good enough to make a stick. You have to have a 4x4 area. And what does this do? Halachically, we have something. Where's Yeshua? Where is he? Oh, it's fine. He's not here. It's his favorite sugya in Sukkah. The concept of good achas mechitzta. So these pieces of wood could go down halachically all the way down to the ocean, and therefore I have an enclosed area for tzvachim, my own Rosh Hashanah, and I draw water from the water, from the sea. Imaginary. The good achas is imaginary. No. This is real. Very, very real. You make a frame, but a frame halachically is like lavud. Only you go much further down. Good achas. It keeps on going. Goes down until it hits the water. Why? Because where's the carmelis? On the seabed, on the bottom of the ocean. How much does the carmelis extend? Just the same amount as Rosh Hashanah, which is 10 tefachim. Some of these oceans are thousands of feet deep. So you're way, way above the carmelis. You're in a makim ptur. Va'avira makim pturu. So you're already at the makim ptur. Ubedinu, this is nami lo yilaba. You don't even need a stick sticking out. You put a little note on it. Water drawing right over here. You don't need that. So people should say, listen, this is a heker. I'm drawing, I'm doing, it's beheter, it's much to do it like this. No. Where does the carmelis start? Not in the bottom of the ocean, but on top of the ocean, on top of the water. So I view the water like ground, like dirt. And if I don't do this trick of building my frame, Yeshua, what is it called when you take the mechitza and you go all the way downwards with it? Huh? Love it, what else? Huh? Good? Very good. Good asik, good achis. So I need to make a 4x4. Otherwise, I'm carrying from a karmel l'reshus hayachid. You can't do that l'chatchila. It's potter, aval aser. What if I'm traveling with a ship and I don't have 10 tefachim? If the bottom, if it goes by the bottom of the ocean, sometimes the ocean doesn't have 10 tefachim. I mean, I don't remember when that story was. Just recently, one of the cruise ships went onto the island. The whole Maisa, a cruise ship doesn't come anywhere close to something that's 10 tefachim. It's a massive ship. We're not talking about a rowboat. We're talking about a ship. I had to do this, but I went clean on this. The Titanic, yeah, everybody's familiar. It has a little bit of a mursha. It sticks out. This part, yeah, what is this? This is the front of the Titanic. It's called something else. The trow, whatever. I don't know what it's called. Whatever. Call it the bow. Call it whatever you want. The what? The prow? That's it. That's what it's called. The prow. The prow juts out much further than the bottom of the ship. The bottom of the ship is over here. So perhaps, yes, a ship doesn't go where you don't have 10 tefachim, but this part maybe does. Says the Gemara, I don't know what's going on here. You have these guys with long sticks that are filling. So I don't think this thing was traveling 35 miles an hour. It's going, but maybe it was close to the shore, so they're really going slow, and they have a guy feeling around. So they never get to a situation where they would bump into ground, to the water that is in less than 10 tefachim deep dirt, and Memela, I don't have an issue. Have a wonderful day. Huh? Yeah, the Titanic.